Perfect. Okay, so I'm Mustafa,
I'm Sahil.
and we are going to be negotiating our final project for Wright Development and Summit Stores.
I represent Summit Stores. I'm Jackie Nelson, the Assistant Director of Corporate Marketing.
And I am Ryan Armstrong, who is a new developer representing John Wright. So let us begin. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice
Nice to
to meet you.
meet you, Jackie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You tell me. How's it been?
It's been good, man. It's been good. You know, weather's been bad, but it's been good.
Okay.
Development is ongoing, which is nice.
Nice. And you guys are trying to grow Northview, I believe, the
Oh.
locality. Big plans.
Big plans.
Right.
As you know, and we really want Summit to be part of those plans, as you know. We're like so
Right.
close to like an agreement, like it's just like little minor point. Like obviously, like Bayside stores showed a little bit of interest, but we're much more interested in negotiating with Summit at this point.
Oh, so did you say you were interested in Bayside stores?
No. They were interested in some kind of an arrangement, but you know, we obviously, since we've gone so far ahead with this, we feel Summit is the better option for us going forward.
Okay.
Of course,
Right.
yeah. So, so I guess the only thing our two sides are disagreeing on is the way the store will have. Sorry. And the assignment the use of the store and the subletting, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think from what I heard from my manager, I feel last time use and assignment were too heavily discussed and long stretch pieces.
yeah,
So let's start with
the subletting.
subletting. Let's start with subletting. I think that would be a good way to start.
Okay. Starting with subletting. So, what do you feel like about subletting? The summer stores,
So
yeah.
the thing is, the way the retail industry is going this year, and the way we want to create experiences inside our own space. We want to allow customers to come inside inside our shop and still feel like they're inside a store where they can actually feel a departmental store's vibe. So the only way you can do that is by actually having companies come in and actually set up smaller departments, obviously, to enhance the customer experience. And let's not, keep away from the fact that also it's a stream of revenue for us
Of
to
course.
cover up, the heavy costs that your
Yeah,
company has
I completely understand.
put
Yeah.
to us in terms of, cost of subletting. So I think at least say a 25 to 30% subletting would be needed for us to,
Okay.
be allowed to have a regular functioning and to provide the sort of experiences we need inside our store.
Okay. So from our perspective, we think subletting isn't a bad idea. It's something that a lot of big high-end departmental stores do. Our only issue is more with the kind of things you guys will be subletting to. Like I understand like perfumes and like lotions and these kind of things fit well with the character of the store we're going for. You guys obviously have very high-end product, but if you were to like hire someone to give out hammers, that would just be, it would deteriorate from the character of the store. So if we could talk about like keeping that character, that would, I think,
I mean,
help us out.
the thing
Yeah.
is now it's 30 years is a big period of time.
Of course, yeah.
So over 30 years, you don't know how the markets change and how people's buying and consumer mentality changes. Say today, I gave out space like say 10 years ago, like to a DVD store. 5-10 years down the line, DVDs are obsolete. So the thing is, it's I know it's in your best interest to do that, but for us to be able to keep that at all times will be hard. But then I think we can definitely agree on the fact that the character of the mall is more important versus us being able to get one or two stores which may get us a little revenue but then kill the overall vibe of the mall. So I think we could agree on that piece that Summit will if we sublet, the character must be maintained. Like the subtenants will operate as departments within a department store rather than independent operators, and also the entrances would be within our own store. So I think we will have to give into at that point to be able to maintain the character of the mall and be aware of each tenant meeting the character of the overall mall and the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get completely what you're saying. So I think we can agree on that piece.
Yeah, as long as and we don't have a problem with like I think honestly like the way my research has shown is like it's around 5 to 25% is allowed. So like we don't have a problem. Like you guys can any number like 15 to 20 is fine with us as long as the people you bring in like keep the character of the store up.
Okay, so let's agree to keep the character of the store, and you said 15 to 20.
Yeah.
So what range would you want to settle in on that one?
I mean, in the middle, 17.
Let's do 18%.
18%. Okay.
18. So if I can sublet 18% of the space, I will agree to you to make sure that I maintain character at all times.
Yeah.
And pretty much, so these are the 2 points in subletting.
Yeah.
And in case we have a dispute on this piece, what would you want to do about it? I mean, what the way we go about it is that, you know, we will try having a discussion in case there's a difference in character, and then we'll try coming to a mutual agreement.
Yeah.
However, if you know, there's a disagreement on subletting, I feel like we'll have a common board of like independent members who we nominate, who can like decide, or like, do you think?
I mean, I think if there's a conflict in the character, and if it's like completely like obvious that it is, like if you guys
I think we will be able to mutually decide on whether it fits with the character.
Yeah, I think that's a discussion thing that'll happen.
Yeah, that's more of a discussion thing.
Yeah.
And let's try sharing a great relationship.
Yeah, of course. We want this for a long time.
We want this for a long time.
Yeah.
And let's see each other as active stakeholders in the mall.
Yeah.
As, you know, your success is my success is your success.
Of course,
at
you
the
guys
end of the
are
day.
the main
So here, let's go for 18% as a pure percentage of sublet, and then as you said, it needs to go with the character.
The high-end character of the store, the reputation of the store, we say. Yeah.
And reputation. Yeah, I think the reputation piece makes sense to both, because, you know, even we are trying to progress towards being like a high-end
as you
thing.
are.
So,
you guys are doing a good job with that.
So,
That I will say.
It's good. We have this
we
out
have
of the way.
this.
Let's get to the bigger pieces.
The bigger pieces. So I'm sure you want to talk about, I guess use would be the other one. So.
Yeah, okay, let's go to use. So, I think...
So like, yeah, you can explain from your perspective.
So...
What do you feel?
Having an optimum mix of tenants is important to your profitability, I realize, and complementarity amongst these tenants means that there should be proximity, I need to have some exclusive rights, so that no other mall in the product is selling similar goods and products, and these are sold exclusively through me. Choosing how to use the space. So Summit is a departmental store which, you know, emphasizes on quality clothing, shoes, cosmetics, gourmet food, handbags, luggage, dishware, furniture, electronics.
Nothing big.
Nothing big.
Yeah.
But Summit also does not currently have restaurants within its stores, but we are in talks with one of Boston's leading oyster houses, Union Oyster House, and we're planning to bring them in our premises to sort of build that, you know, experience to engage customers, because in a departmental store you spend a lot of time. Say you're buying luggage and things like that. You want to go back for a meal and then come back and resume shopping and then just step out. Or if someone's coming for the restaurant, they can cross our stores and then quickly have some impulse buys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our pure purpose, and Union Oyster House is, you know, unarguably one of the best of very west of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So Summit will want to continue its initial use for a specific period to lease up with later change of use for specified conditions, and Summit would want to maintain the character. I agree through
Mm-hmm.
the use, and we will commit to, you know, maintaining a strong character through our stores.
Yeah.
However, I understand that you have a mix of tenants and you have to satisfy all your tenants, including your satellite tenants.
Yeah, we just don't want that. That the ones that have been granted exclusive rights, like it would just be a little bit difficult for like you guys to sell the same things.
Right. Okay, so I'll agree to have I'll agree that you need to give your satellite tenants some sort of rights too.
Mm-hmm.
So can Summit have the complete control over the use of its space as long as it maintains the character and appearance of the mall?
Okay, so what are we talking about in character? Like, the only thing we would have a problem with that is like, say for example, like we wouldn't want a general, like if you guys wanted to like convert it over to like a General Electric or something, that would hurt the character of the mall. Or let's say you wanted to convert your entire space with full control over to a laser tag. These are the only things we're afraid of, like that kind of thing happening.
No, so we
Yeah.
let us have control over the space, and we'll make sure that we maintain the character and the appearance and, you know, the sort of nature of the mall,
Well,
and continue retail operations from the
Well, what would you want to sell? What would you want to if you want complete control? What would you want to sell in this mall? Like, what would some of the other products be that you want to go for?
30 years is a long period of time,
Yeah.
and as times
I
evolve,
think-
let's try making sure that whatever retail operations we carry out from this space, we will always do that in light of the character and the appearance of the mall, and obviously, you know, without any conflict of the satellite tenants.
Mm-hmm. Without any
So,
conflict. with the
without
satellite.
any conflict of the satellite tenants. I think that's a fair point. So without any, like, without directly hampering the satellite tenants, I feel like we could give Summit the
Wait, this is.
grant over the use of its space.
Yeah.
It slipped down like that. Just.
Sorry. Stays up. Okay. Give me a minute.
And in case of a dispute, let's keep a clause that in case there's a dispute on this, Wright will take back the space but provide Summit enough compensation to cover up costs.
If there's because obviously like we're the developer here, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The last point, take back would have some compensation to cover closing to if it disagrees, propose change by Summit. So in this one, I'd want to make a change. Since moving out from there, we are making heavy investments to transition to Northview. Could you cover all closing costs? Because here it says some closing costs. I'd want to change this to all closing costs because, you know, use is of extreme essentiality, and if we can just make sure that I can cover my costs to move out. Otherwise, moving out in a loss just does not make sense, because if we move out, we're anyways causing a loss to our brand of, you know, just the public reaction of a store shutting down, which is anyways negative. So I think the least we can expect is covering of costs. And you again have space over rental control, and if you are disagreeing, that means that we have someone else who we are willing to give our space to. That means that the property is in demand, so you can obviously find people to fit in the shape and character of your mall. So if we can cover costs,
I mean, that's a big ask for us to cover all the costs. I mean, what can you
just the closing
do with
costs.
it?
Okay, not
Yeah.
all costs, but just closing costs.
What does it say right now? Like, what is the problem you have
It
with the
says
cost?
subject to perhaps some compensation to Summit to cover closing costs. I just want compensation from Wright to cover closing costs.
Yeah, but as you said, that's a disagreement over the use, and you said you will maintain the character. So,
No, but in case there's a dispute, if we don't agree on a certain character point,
Mm-hmm.
or let's say we, as long as let's try and agreeing, let's just try agreeing on the piece that we maintain the character and of the mall without any conflict.
Yeah. So we would essentially want them to continue selling high quality goods. So like, you don't want we just our concern is we don't want you to be another Sears. You know what I mean? Sears, basically, you can get, or like another Walmart, for example.
Okay.
We want the character of the mall, the high quality of the mall, is what attracts. So
Right.
like clothing.
But I'm saying in case tech becomes really big in the next 30 years and we have to assign some sort of space of use within us, our own store, to operate as say an electronics retailer too. We'll do it, but we'll do it in the nature and maintain the high-end character.
Okay,
We'll always be a premium. So
can you give me an
Summit,
example? Like how would you do that?
So say if who would you classify as a premium electronics retailer?
Apple.
Apple. So we'll maintain a very aesthetic layout. We'll make sure that our strategy ties into the whole character and use character of the mall in general. So I think if we can agree on that piece, so we'll just keep the first clause as it is. Summit will continue. It's Summit will have, okay, we'll have to change this clause actually, because right now it says Summit will continue its initial use with later change subject to specified conditions. So we're changing this thing. Summit will have complete control over the use of its space as long as Wright and Summit are agreed to the character and the appearance of Summit's operations within the store.
As long as they're mutual agreement.
As long as mutually agreed.
So everything has to be a high end.
No. I mean mutually agreed. No, Summit will, the control of use will be with Summit, but we will make sure that we are fitting in with the character and the appearance of the mall. Without and the main point, the way we shaped this was, we'll make sure that we don't conflict with the satellite tenants.
See that? Okay. That's a big ask for us to give up complete control. So if we give you a lot with this, we have certain requirements for the assignment that we will need to be a little more strict on then, if we're giving you complete control in this case.
Could you repeat that one?
So if we're going to give you complete control over how this is, and we're not going off the compromises that are listed over here, potential compromises, we'll need more from an assignment point of view, if that's okay. That's what I'm saying this discussion will lead on to. So why don't we talk about assignment right now, see what we get from there, and then we can
Okay, works.
Yeah.
Okay,
so for assignment. So basically, it's a 30-year lease,
right.
And assignment is something where we'd want a lot in our say, it's important to us.
Right.
So if we're doing the lease, basically we don't want you guys to if there's a case of transferring the lease to another company, say 15 years down the road, we don't want it to be. It has to be very similar to the high-end quality store you guys have. So like a Neiman Marcus would be fine,
okay.
Or something like that. It can't be a GE. There's no, it has to be that high-end. It can't be like a Walmart. It has to fit that. Neiman Marcus is somewhere where Summit stores are in its high-end quality, so it has to be a very similar brand, because then we lose out on a huge deal if you guys leave and you replace us with someone who might be convenient for you but will hurt the character of the mall.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying and where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But it's tough, to take you 30 years is a long period of time, so do you understand the sort of industry changes? The tomorrow Northview cannot digest or may not have the very nature of taking high-end stores. If the local economy turns bad, it's heavily driven on the New England economy, and if there's corporate retrenchment and all of that, I think it would be tough to always make sure that we have a similar operator, you know, that's a very, very big piece to find someone.
Yeah, but that's something we definitely would need. Like for use, we don't. We have a good relationship, or we want one where we will trust you to handle that. But we need that kind of an agreement. So like, let's say 15 years down the road, you guys for some reason don't want to be part of the mall or something. We'd need like when you like give the assignment or the transfer of the lease to another company, it has to be a high-end company. So we're willing, if we had to, we would compromise on the use, but we'd need that clause in there. Like you can have that full use, but we'd need like the company to be very similar to a high-end company. And I think if we can do that, I feel like we can.
But the thing is, Mustafa, what if the economy itself changes? What if the very nature of, what if not, the problem is, what if Northview Mall cannot, what if Northview in general, the city cannot have the appetite, or if we cannot find someone who's willing to, you know, the only reason why we would potentially assign it to someone else is because, you know.
Yeah, I understand the economy changes and stuff. I understand. And that's how you, with your use, you'll keep up with that, with all the different variances and I'm sure other high-end department stores, but like you said, it's a high-end thing, right? The high-end department stores will be the ones to get in like all these new companies. Say if you guys want technology, the high-end stores will be the one to make that design little corner of Apple in their store. If you ask us with like a Walmart to replace, and even if Walmart's doing very well economically, it's still not some place that Apple want to sublet, or any like, you know, Gucci would want to like have a store in there, or any high-end perfume. You see what I mean? Where I'm coming from. So like we understand your need for use, but we also have a need to keep our interest of the mall at heart. So.
Okay, so then can we put in a point that, you know, we just make sure that this clause is like these clauses, this clause of, you know, having to assign to someone of a similar character, you have the first say, but you would be willing and understanding to compensate for any heavy changes in the economy of Northview. Like if you and I agreeably understand that, you know, it's not profitable to run high end in this neighborhood anymore, if both of us mutually agree, both of us have you would have a veto power in that.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to give you the veto power.
Yeah. But we would want a discussion.
But there has to be first a discussion and, you know, as much accommodation as possible to understand the changing economy of Northview in case, because that was one of our concerns when we were coming in, you know, to open the store here. We were very scared of, you know, having Northview change its very economy because it's heavily dependent on corporate retrenchment and all of that, as I spoke to you. So, what do you think?
So you're proposing that if you guys have a loss in cost based on like this assignment, then we'd cover you? Is that what you're proposing?
No. I'm just proposing that say tomorrow,
yeah,
we are trying to reassign our lease to a similar operator, and Summit will be assigned to reassign its lease to a similar operator, as you said. But you'd want someone who's running high-end premium operations, so someone who has
very similar
operating history, credit rating, and product line. These three clauses are included in Article 22. We will do that, and Wright will have a say in that. But we will make sure we maintain character. However, if there's a disagreement on character, you guys must be willing to accommodate and adjust any adverse changes to the US and Northview economy in general. Like if Northview does not have the appetite anymore for a high-end store, would you be willing to like just keep that in mind when you're, you know?
I mean, we'd be willing to keep that in mind, but like that's what I said. These high-end stores, they adjust themselves. You know what I mean? They bring in, even if they're bringing in like the.
That's to the whole US economy. What if Northview in general, the city itself, just, you know, does not have that sort of high-end customer or high-end audience anymore?
So why don't we put like an assignment over like how long assignment will be allowed? So like after 15 years, if we allow the assignment, if you guys have to get out.
My manager told me that within 10 years there could be a heavy change to Northview's economy, and that's what's predicted by, their economic reports. So, could you give us, like, say, I was going to say 10 years, but I understand 10 years would be,
Yeah.
just 30%, 33% of our
Exactly.
whole lease agreement. Can we meet somewhere between 10 and 15?
10 and 15. I thought 15 was like a good 50%, but if we had to go down, I think 14 years is not bad. Just because like that's 50, we're going down 50%. 15% would be the ideal. I can understand where you're coming from, so I think 14 is a good number, and that's like it gives, and then we can like discuss the reassignment if we need to.
Okay, so can I counter that with another number?
Okay.
Can we do 13? Because it's just that 10 years the economy might just completely change, and if the very nature of Northview cannot accept or purchase our products, we are trying to do everything in character of the mall and in character of the overall appearance. But what if the economy itself, takes a drastic turn in Northview and they do not have the appetite for a high-end store? Or you'd want to stay with 14? I see you.
We'd feel more comfortable with 14. Just because like I feel like this is the big thing for like going off to negotiation and taking our chains off. Assignment is big for us. Use, I understand, is big for you.
Right.
So like, and you're asking a lot from us from use, and I understand that we're asking for. So like, 15 would be ideal, 50-50. I get your 10 years, but like, it'd give us that extra year. So 14 years.
So 14 years, and you will be willing to.
If you guys needed to leave Summit, we'd be willing to talk.
Relook.
Okay. And as long as Summit replaces it with a store with a very similar credit rating and operating history and product line.
Yeah. And you will be willing to relook with context to Northview having a high-end appetite.
Yeah, we'd be willing to look at what the people would want, obviously.
Right.
If you guys would obviously maintain that you'd find a store similar to Neiman
Similar
Marcus.
operation.
Yes, Neiman Marcus is just what comes at the top of my head.
Yeah, and Wright will be, in case of a disagreement, let's go with the last clause that Wright will be given, and subject to Summit covering closing costs.
Yeah, then accepting the assignees. Like if you guys had someone that we totally didn't want, then we'd get some compensation. I think that's what it's saying here.
Oh, this is a big piece. So in case it gave.
I think this is similar to the use argument. I think as long as you guys maintain that, we don't even need to talk about this lease. Like as long as you guys are giving us a high-end store, and if we look at the market, it should be fine.
Okay, so then let's not have this clause here, and let's not have the clause even.
Yeah, as long as you guys are giving us a store that's like
meeting the character, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you're like agreeing to give us that store, then we'll be fine.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys can find the store.
Okay.
That if needed. Hopefully this will go on for 30 years, so that problem will not happen.
Okay.
And then use was we're talking about. What was the last things we wanted for use? You guys wanted control over it as long as you maintain the store's character. And like
do not conflict with the satellite stores.
Satellite stores.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good, sir.
I think that's good.
I've been writing through and through as we.
Yeah, I've taken notes as long as whatever you guys want.
So you think you want to just agree over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can write it up, construct the draft.
Yeah.
I'll sign off on it, and we'll show.
been a great time
Great
working
time.
with you. Looking
Thank you.
forward to opening our store within your premise, sir.
Yes, that'll be
You know.
great. We always wanted Summit. You guys have a great reputation, as always.
Great pleasure.
And
Looking forward, sir.
Yeah.
And please come to join us at Union Oyster House.
oh yeah, of course. Can't wait for those oysters now.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.